quick introduction for those who are new to our content. My name is Jenner. I guess I'm the leader for this group. Kinda. This is me. Kinda my fault that this whole group got started. It's actually more Jeff's fault. Like 3 years ago.
It's called Force of Personality.
Yeah, it's three
We're in the
years
cult
ago.
of personality, and she's the cult leader.
Yeah. 3 years ago, Jeff messaged me saying, I'm bored, I want to play tabletop games, run a tabletop game because you're good at it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But then I started a tabletop game. And then Loka and Fefner and Breadmaster, who's stuck in academia hell, one day he'll be back, joined me and Jeff. And that's how this game got started. So I'm Jenner. I'm cis, female, she, her. I'm bi, pansexual, asexual. I'm a furry. I'm disabled. I'm just ticking all the boxes. Gotta catch them all.
I'm Jeff. I'm the Jeff that was just mentioned.
Yeah.
That's all it is about me.
Just my best friend. Did you know that next year, Jeff, we will have been friends for 10 years?
That's fucked up.
Yeah. You knew me from before I married Kaido.
Yeah.
So you and I have been friends
back when we played in that one game that fell apart terribly.
My character was great in that game.
Some people were bad. Notably the DM. Everyone
Just the DM. Everyone else was great. My character was a little bit too great.
That's kind of the problem, though. When GM's bad, it's just, Anyway, hi, I'm Fefner, she, her. How's it going? I sometimes edit these. I say sometimes, because I also do LPs.
Fefner does way too much.
I don't do enough, except, I don't have free time because this isn't my actual job. It's just a hobby I'm passionate about, damn it. And anyway, I'm in this group because, I don't know, I guess, I started and posted in the Fire Emblem thread on LP Zone, so,
I don't remember how you found the Ryutama thread. I remember we interacted with each other a bit in the Fire Emblem thread in the LP Zone. Mm-hmm. And then I, kind of moped about how nobody was responding to my Ryutama thread in a different thread, and that made people post to my Ryutama thread, and you posted in it for some idiotic reason, and now we've been friends for 3 years. You fool. You idiot. Look what you've done. Anyway. Alice, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alice. I've been in other games before, starting with when we were still playing D&D with Pelagia. Mm-hmm. She, her, and I'm very excited because I've been on a Battletech kick.
Yeah, on that. You see how there's a hex grid on this picture? Mm-hmm. When we first enabled it, it was the wrong orientation and I freaked out.
It's true.
I was so angry.
It was pretty bad.
Okay, we have a new player who's joined us. This is her first time playing with us, and this is Scarlett. Hi, Scarlett.
Nice to meet you. I'm Alice's partner.
So we're just, we're going to start by kind of laying out what's going on with this campaign. So the way and by we I largely mean I, but it really is a we, have decided this campaign is going to be run is this is how would you put it, Fefner, like an isolated system? Basically, some people in deep space sleeper units hit this galaxy, woke up and started colonizing it. Then the Union, Then the Union came in. Do you want to explain this?
Right, so, I guess a very brief history of Lancer. Lancer is a game with a lot of lore. Try to do this as quickly as possible. Earth kind of went horribly wrong because, humans. And so the apocalypse happened, and then that all sort of cleared out. And for a while, it seemed like humanity was healing, except then they went all Mad Max for a bit and almost destroyed the world again, except they didn't because they found a vault with some old information in it. And so they kind of realized, we're not doing great, huh? And so then they kind of stopped and started rebuilding for real. However, they had sent out people into space before the apocalypse happened, and what kicked off the, desire to explore space was hearing distress signals. So yeah, that is a quick rundown. Since then, people have been exploring the stars and pushing the frontier ever outward. in the center of it all is Cradle, which is basically just, our central system plus a few other planets, that don't actually exist in real life. But yeah, it's a utopia. Everybody's provided for. Everything's pretty great. And you can have a setting there, but it's much more likely that you'll have a setting out there in the Diasporan worlds where resources don't come as easily. We are playing a campaign in a setting that me, Jenner, and Alice have basically come up with. Overture, I called it. And yeah, basically, a whole lot of people came to Overture, and stuff kind of quickly went bad. 2 of the 3 factions started when they overthrew their previous oppressors. But that's not the end of it.
So we are going to be playing in this universe as 3 warring factions who hate each other. And spoilers, none of these factions are 100% good. There's dirtiness amongst all these factions. So yeah, war is bad. That's the overarching message of this campaign. And the players are going to be playing as a group of mercenaries called the Hex Girls, who were formed by Jeff's character, Bryn. And they are all united because of their basically association with Bryn and how Bryn knows them and each other. And Bryn can basically summon them to join him, I believe, right? Him on their missions, and they will do so because they owe Bryn for reasons that we make up for ourselves. Ultimately, we do, in character, have some reason to respect Bryn and follow his lead, but that's up to us to determine.
I don't. I'm new to all this. We'll get into that soon.
Yeah. So, my character, or my faction, is the faction called Deliverance. They're basically social fascists. They decided that they're going to do unto others as was done to them, and it's great, and we're gonna love it. And all their missions are righteous and good, and you will never be doing any war crimes while you are doing a mission for a Deliverance. Because if there is no military, you can't be judged in military court for war crimes. Alice, do you want to tell
So
us
there is a
about your
joke for
faction?
literally 2 of us.
Yep. Alice, do you want to tell us a bit about your faction?
Oh, there we go.
There
Sorry,
you
I was
go.
muted. My faction is called the Common Front of the Holy Name. Behind the scenes, this is actually the little faction that I made for my Solaris games. They are what would happen if the IWW and the Catholic Church had a baby in space that also liked BattleTech.
I'm sold.
They are the Common Front is an alliance originated in labor unions, small guerrilla warfare, and ecumenical religious movement on a world that had kind of gone very horribly wrong, reproducing Earth's tragedies. Once they overthrew the old order, they kind of just continued in the same vein, creating a sort of rough and tumble syndicalist mishmash that spread across the stars. They are fun. They're a little chaotic and they're hot-headed, and you're expected to be able to fire and take apart and clean a gun when you're 6 because everyone just has them. Armed society is a polite society, and they're great and very difficult to manage.
Will we be doing any war crimes while we're working for your faction?
I mean, all wars, war crimes.
Yeah, war. As the great Smedley Butler once said, "War is a racket," but also maybe not on purpose.
Finally, Fefner, tell us a little bit about your faction. I didn't even talk about my faction's history. It's fine. Go ahead, Fefner.
So, Boundless was here before the other groups arrived. However, their ability to travel space was pretty limited. On their essentially home planet Athena, things are going pretty well. However, and when it came to space travel, They didn't do too well, and therefore really couldn't interfere as the other two sort of came to power and started doing their thing. So, they're trying their best. They're trying to be peacekeepers, but considering everything that's going on, that's kind of difficult to do.
So I guess at this point, now that we know the factions, we're gonna tell everybody about our characters. I guess you should start, Jeff, since you're the leader. And Jeff's gonna be the only, other than Loka, the only consistent player. Because we're gonna be rotating out GMs. Oh yeah, Jeff and Scarlett are the only consistent players.
I was about to say,
Sorry, Scarlett.
I mean,
ow!
I might
new.
decide I want to run a combat and destroy you all like I did that one time in D&D. I haven't decided yet.
If you do, I will make you GM for the day so you can kill us all with chain lightning again.
It was just regular lightning.
Yeah.
You were just in a line.
I wasn't even in that session. So yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
You were absolutely in that session.
Oh wait, was I? Okay, whatever.
You had the Vor gimmick. How did you forget
Oh yeah,
that?
that's right. I ate him with a frog. Listen, it's not a fetish. It's a joke. Okay, Jeff. So tell us about your.
So Bryn is a member of probably at this point an archaic military. Doesn't exist anymore. He was a starship pilot who is also a light speed starship pilot. So he is on the cosmic scale much older than everyone else because he was born like hundreds of years ago, and because of time dilation, he is still like in his like mid 20s, like early 30s.
Me too, bet you ain't special.
Oh.
He is a military guy. Like he's a commanding officer. Grew up like joined the military to because there was not a lot else to do sometimes. Some of these backwater places, and that's the way you get out. So now he is adjusting to I guess civilian life after his ship was impounded and they left without him when they got it back. So now he's just not on that ship anymore. And so he's trying to make his way in the universe, having his whole way of life has suddenly shifted.
All right, I am playing Sylvia Reynard, pilot of the Volpes Invicta, which is just what she calls her kind of shitty starter mech. Sylvia was more or less screwed over when a relative, kind of without letting her know at a young age, named her as the co-beneficiary in an investment venture that went south. She ended up owing a lot of money to a lot of very nasty people, and basically her ticket out of that debt involved getting a lot of wire and metal surgically attached to her spine in an experimental procedure that was supposed to make her a super soldier, better able to control a mech than anyone else, but in practice it just gives her a lot of chronic back pain and requires her to wear the hard suit she uses to pilot her mech as a mobility aid. It does kind of work in the sense that she has a system that she can plug into her mech and kind of like manipulate the limbs on it as if she were moving her arms and legs, but it's of limited practical use and not particularly good technology for mass production because most of the people who went through the process with her did not make it.
Right.
She is currently basically making her way as a mercenary because her only marketable skill after 10 years of working this debt off is flying mechs and slashing things in half with big ol' swords.
Nice.
So your core character is a standard thing where like some startup tries to make a super complicated like haptic input method where you just want to use a fucking keyboard and mouse and it works a lot better.
That's literally the joke, yes. Just like it's literally just the new invasive technology, like venture capitalists, and just got completely trashed.
Can't believe Sylvia's a Kinect. Jeez.
Why would you say this? Moving on. We're done here. Thank you all.
Who wants to go next?
I can't say it better than that.
Poor Scarlett. She's already obliterated. She didn't even last one fucking session, Bevner.
I can't believe I'm fucking dead. 5d6 psychic damage already.
My character's name is Quinn Riesling. She is the daughter of former general, now governor, Vadim Riesling, and his wife, supermodel, Irina Lebedev Riesling. She is a celebrity. She's a Twitch streamer who goes in her mech and streams her mech shenanigans and takes selfies in war zones for the gram, for likes and subscribes.
So you have a built-in body cam, just twitch.com.
Yep. Her call sign is default. That's also her gamer tag. That's what she goes by. That's what we'll call her this entire campaign. So yeah, my character default has been given everything she wants, and she is an irrepressible spoiled brat. She's crushingly sheltered, earnest, and naive. Her parents assigned her a public relations consultant to help her craft her brand, but she ignores that person. Her parents have hand-fed her infinite opportunities to explore all the occupation opportunities she could possibly want, but default wants to be a streamer and war hero, which is, I'm sure, a great idea. She doesn't understand what being a war hero really entails, what it means, because she's innocent and she doesn't understand the nastiness and brutality of war. She aspires only to make a name for herself and carve out an identity on her own terms. She's 5'2", she's 16 years old, she was 103 pounds, she's a horrible, noodly gremlin child who's terrible.
Can we at least, can she be 18 instead,
Nope.
please? Just
Nope.
in case.
Nope. I promise I'm not gonna do...
Okay, because I was going to ask if she was a titty streamer, but the answer is obviously no, right?
She's not a titty streamer.
Thank God.
She's more of like one of those like cute anime girl streamers that wear like the cat ears and like say Japanese stuff into the face cam. The inside of her mech is lined, yes. The inside of her mech is lined with padded walls, so that if she, and bubble wrap, so if she gets hit and knocked out, she doesn't hurt herself. And she has a sound system, and she's blaring K-pop constantly. I have made a playlist. Yes, you will hear it. Yes.
I forget which Gundam it was that has the guy who just always plays jazz, but it's just a variation on that.
Well, good thing. I guess we're never doing any stealth missions.
Well, she doesn't.
I mean, Sylvia's mech is painted bright orange. This was over.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Default's mech is painted gray and yellow for reasons.
We'll worry about that more when we get our good mechs and not our starter mechs.
And default doesn't have to turn on the AP system to blare the music outwards. She's just blaring it in the cockpit, though she can turn on the AP system to blare it outwards if she wants to. So yeah.
I feel like this character just that like that new Ava pilot in the Ava movies that just like appeared out of nowhere for no reason. It's just that character. She's fucking drinking a big gulp inside the mech when it's full of
She is, in fact,
goo.
drinking a big gulp inside the mech in the picture I'm having.
Those mechs, they're full of liquid. How is she drinking that? They just like forgot. Alice, get your character.
Okay. I'm playing Lyra Wolfson, who is call sign Wolf because originality. So Lyra is technically in exile, a former clanner. Her people are techno-barbarians on the fringes of society. They live in highly regimented caste, feudalistic kind of society where the warriors of each of the clans and septs are semi-nomadic and exact tribute from the lower orders. Her clan Wolf, was actually forcibly disbanded by the rest of the sept after they were accused of cowardice. They argued that their mechs had been sabotaged by some dishonorable foe, but they could never prove it, and so were exiled to another world where she grew up. She used to be pretty fine. She grew up half clanner culture, half frontier culture, until a raid on the colony destroyed her hometown, her model mining town, killing her family and most of the people that she knew. She survived it by actually piloting a work mech that she had been apprenticing on, where she developed a taste for battle, having downed 2 of the attacking vehicles with a mech with no weapons, just by throwing things. She tried to get in. She tried to join up with the Syndicalist Defense Cadres. They would not take her because she was too unstable and too bloodthirsty. So she tried to get in as a mercenary. And I actually, fun note, the picture for this is actually one of the Ronin from the Battletech game, the Harebrained Games did.
Nice.
Yay, that's my thing.
All right. So I'm last then. I'll be playing Isadora Allo. So Isadora is what's known in the setting as a cosmopolitan, which means basically she's spent a lot of time in space. She was actually born in Cradle. Just had a pretty standard life for a bit. Went to school on a different planet, as you do. Also took some space pilot jobs, and when that happened, she wound up basically just going through and then coming back to Earth one day and realizing, oh, my parents are super old now. So basically, yeah, she spent a few years with her parents until they passed, and since then she's pretty much just gone through space. She takes a job, goes to a planet. Is there a job on that planet that doesn't go back to where she just was? That's fine. She just keeps going. And that's how she'll end up in Overture. And at the moment, she's just the pilot of this ship. She's not really a permanent part of its crew, but of course, the ship itself, not a half bad ship, fairly decent size, and it's not the best ship ever, but the crew appreciates it, which is why they named it after the best ship name they could find in Earth's history, Adolith.
Like it. Love it. What a good ship. I mean, the Ike Soren is better, but the Adolith is alright.
And I think that's about it since we're not talking about mechs yet.
Yeah, we're not really going to talk about our mechs. I did want to talk about our NPCs now that you've mentioned NPCs. Hey, I have bad news, by the way. I don't know if there's going to be an arc this campaign. This might be an arcless campaign. I'm panicking.
I guess I'll have to add arc. I have...
Will be all 3? Oh, there are 3 arcs, one for each faction. They're all inexplicably named arc.
The Arc of Power, the Arc of Courage, and the Arc of Wisdom.
The Tri-Arc, if you will.
Wow! Why?
So good.
So my faction will be interacting with the Hex Girls. That's the name of the mercenary group that Jeff's character runs and that we're all a part of. Through a faction representative named Kovanen. She's a 17-year-old former child soldier who has been ordered to tell you her exact thoughts and feelings, honestly, and she obeys. She's a true believer in deliverance, and I'm sure she's going to have a wonderful time talking to all of you, as she has been ordered to be on call to answer any and all inquiries you have, and just talk to you if you want to at all hours. So feel free to drunk dial her at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, space time, she'll answer. She'll be being run by both me and Fafner. Fafner will be playing her when I'm role-playing with her, so I'm not role-playing with myself. Otherwise, I'll be playing her.
Can't wait to just abuse that relationship in all the worst ways.
Please call my NPC at any time. She might not answer if you're in the middle of combat. That's like the one exception I'll make. But otherwise, she'll probably answer all the time and talk to you all the time.
I'm going to have a lot of fun bothering her with questions.
Anybody else have any other NPCs that they want to introduce?
I think we probably just gang through stuff. What else do we need to cover in the session 0? Really, I guess let's go over our actual the material status of our characters.
Yeah, we should go, and then we should talk about how our characters know each other, because that's one of the things it says to do, why we are bound together. So go ahead and lay out what kind of resources and stuff we have. Jeff, you're the leader.
Okay, so despite all the talk about debt and shit in Lancer, resources aren't really scarce in the setting. So the way that Lancer works is every pilot has what's called a license level, which is your character level in the game. What this is as you level up your licenses, you can acquire licenses from various mech manufacturers, and you get access to their suit designs and the equipment that they have, depending on how many levels of license you have each one. Level 0, which we're at right now, is just GMS, just the basic like bog standard like military mechs that anyone can get their hands on. And then as you level up in license, you can get like cool weird shit, like something can teleport and like shoot up nanites and lasers and shit.
It is possible in the system to sort of fuck with that format, but we're not. Part of the lore is the companies did like have branches in Overture before it got cut off, because like basically there are things called blink gates which let you travel through space with more ease than just doing it normally. But also we're pretty far away from Cradle, so it's really hard to upkeep that sort of technology.
But even so, the way it works is a license gives you access to a bunch of blueprints you can just print.
Yeah,
with like big 3D printers.
Yeah.
So there's no like, there's
fine.
not like the item scarcity like there is in D&D, where you like go out and acquire magic items and shit. You basically have access to a set of options to pop on your mech, like different weapons, and like put on do whatever frame you pick. So you can either like kind of spread it out and like have a bunch of different options, a bunch of different stuff from a bunch of different licensees, or you can say I want to go hardcore to this one, so I want to teleport over the battlefield and freak out my enemies with like weird darkness shit. So that's really the power thing in this one. So what makes it cool is so you can basically just like you can load out your mech however you want depending on the mission you're going on. So, like if you're not going to space, you don't like space shit. If you fight on the ground, you want flight and whatnot, and you can choose what weapons you want depending on what you need. So that's cool because it's really modular, so you can actually kind of design however you kind of want your character to be in your mech, but still like customize it to make sense for a mission you're going on. Because there's no you don't like buy ammo or buy guns, you just have access to them.
Like anything you have will recover during a long rest, unless there's some circumstance about it. It's easy enough to reproduce.
Yes, it's very good because it gives you a lot of options, but it also lets you kind of like figure out like what kind of, because the frames, like Lance is free. To go download it, you get the free version and look at the stuff because there's a lot of really cool shit with the various like manufacturers and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll probably talk more about that once we actually get our first like good mechs and not the level 0 trash ones.
Though to be fair, I'm still excited about the level 0 mech.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff you can do. Just in the basic load of what the kind of stuff you have to grab. So with this game, that said, so you really have two characters in this system. You have your pilot with your pilot skills and how you interact like when you're outside of your mech doing like social stuff and like missions. But there's also like all the shit your mech can do when it's very big. So, and those both interact in cool ways. Like your various stats have modify like the strengths of the mech you have. But also, like you can like have a character that's like all about one thing, and then the mech is something different, and it's fine. It's just really how you want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. In addition, like of course, player and mech work differently, but there's also like two modes of play. Basically, there's just like the narrative freeform style, which is a little lighter. Typically, that's more pilot side. It's a lot about skill checks. It's a lot about role playing. And then you just have the actual battles, which you should probably be using your mechs for. Because
a human can be stomped in one hit and die.
Yep.
Very easily.
I think shocking is the...
There are rules for like jumping on a mech and like putting explosives on it and like shooting it in the joints. You can do that.
The rule itself says you probably shouldn't do this.
There's also rules for self-destructing your mech. Just keep that in mind. It's fine. You can just get a new one.
Yep.
So I guess instead of like going over like the specific like shit on the sheets, how about we all go through like what we kind of envision our like role in like the group to be.
Right.
I will start. So I have been voluntold. I am the leader. So I have taken a lot of like leader-ish stuff. Like I can do stuff like give other people better roles on stuff. I took a lot of like supporting fire and like long range kind of aesthetic stuff. Like I want to be like a sniper with like drones and stuff. and I'm there to support the other people in the group who are going to be probably much more upfront and personal with this. That is my envision. So I took steps to support.
I apparently will always just stick myself into the speed stat in any game I play, no matter how many times I think, I'd like to be a tank this time, or maybe I should do wizard stuff. I just see, oh, this one goes fast? Okay, cool, I want to do that.
Fast.
But yeah, I'm also going to be support. I'm looking at the Dustwing mech, and that's looking real cool.
Oh, yeah.
I want to use that. So that's definitely speed-based. It's also got a little bit of hacking on that, and considering I'm the only person who's put any points into system thus far, I'm probably the best person for that. I will, however, probably be worst at hull, which is, the bulky, punchy stat for robots.
My character is a spoiled rich girl who doesn't know how to do anything other than boss people around and be petulant and belligerent. All of my skills are picked to that extent. All of my talents are picked to that extent. She bosses people around. She tries to charm people to get her way. She has no combat skills whatsoever. As a person, her mech is different. Her mech is designed to go in, grab things, punch them a lot, and then shoot them point blank with a massive cannon.
Pew pew.
She's probably going to be piloting a Barbarossa. That's the biggest, most ridiculous, overpowered mech in the game.
It's big.
It's huge. It's got a big cannon. It hit real good. So yeah, she'll probably be slapped into one of those. Right now she's slapped in a basic mech named Fisticuffs. I don't know what I'm going to name the Barbarossa. But yeah, so that's my character concept. That's what she do. Out of the mech, she's a brat. In the mech, she will punch you until you explode.
There's grappling rules in this.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind.
Yep, she's going to grab you and punch you.
Well. Alright, so Sylvia is a woman of singular taste. Out of mech, she's kind of a survivor type character. She doesn't really have any skill triggers that are related directly to combat. She has stay cool, survive, read a situation, and one for hacking and fixing, because her mobility issues mean it's a little easier for her to kind of use her combat training to just execute good judgment or weather through a situation rather than doing the standard rush in and punch someone. Her mech is all swords all the time. The Vulpes Invicta, I do not know what her final mech will be, but on the Everest currently pilot, her points are split between hull and agility. So structural power and movement, and literally her entire loadout is melee weapons. She has a charged blade, a great sword, and 2 tactical knives. That's it. She has no ranged weapons. They do not work blink thing because they require targeting reticules. And it turns out when you are piloting a mech by kind of moving it with your brain, there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So she is Sword Girl for life. Yep, she also has a couple of in-mech skills that directly allow her to make multiple attacks with a melee weapon, get bonus attacks when she makes a melee attack, first melee attack in a turn, and at least one skill that lets her kind of keep her mech going, that makes her mech slightly, her next ram check slightly better when she's been boosting.
I think the wolf has just nothing but guns. Just so many guns.
The gun girl and sword girl together at last.
If there are more spaces for guns, she will find more spaces for guns. Heavy machine gun, rifle, cannons. I just want to absolutely leave nothing but craters.
And she said in the Discord chat that she just wants more DACA.
I just need more DACA. I have a
literally DACA tattooed on your wrist.
But yes. Then we want to talk about how we know each other?
Well, okay, so in the mech, you guns. Outside the mech, how you built.
Outside the mech?
Yeah.
It's just how she is in general?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
talents
what's your character concept here?
Lyra is basically a space Viking. She is like bloodthirsty space hedonist. That if you can't fight it, then fuck it. If you can't fuck it, then you better start fighting it. If you can't do either,
You're living by the 4 Fs. Ah.
if you can't do either, then I guess you run.
Fuck, fight, flee.
That's like if she is not holed up somewhere drinking, then she is probably fighting something. If she's doing either of those things, then God help everyone around her.
Feast, fuck, fight, flee.
Well, I guess Isadora has a drinking buddy.
Woo!
Question mark. I mean, I don't know how well they'll get along, but they'll at least drink together.
I think that's everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start with how my character is in the Hex Scrolls and how my character knows Bryn.
I feel like it's gonna be it's a relatively new mercer. Like it's super new. Like maybe we've had one mission. It probably wasn't easy.
So the main reason I believe that my character is associated with your character, Jeff, and you can check off on this, is your character probably knew my character's dad at some point in time because my character's dad was in the military as well.
Yeah.
So they're old military buddies, and he trusts you. His 16-year-old daughter wants to do dumb war terrorism bullshit. He trusts you to not get her killed. So he just sent her to your mercenary group, and he also pays you a significant sum to just keep her safe and just let her vent whatever fucking murder boner she has in, like, under your protection until she gets this out of her system.
Oh, what have I got myself into?
You're babysitting.
He asks himself this every mission.
Yeah. So my default dad pays you a significant amount. It's not enough to where you can be comfortable for forever, right? That's why you have to take missions, because you have to pay rent and eat food and stuff. But it's enough that we can have some downtime and go a couple weeks without having to take another mission. And by the way, Default doesn't know that you're being paid to be your friend. She thinks she's here on merit alone, and you have to pretend that that is the case.
I mean, you can pay for whatever you want.
Good job, child.
What I do with that money is my business.
Yeah, well,
and specifically, that's getting paid to me directly. It's not like Mercy.
Yeah, no, that's
like
getting
no
paid
one.
to
I don't
you
think anyone
directly.
else knows about this.
Yep, no, nobody else knows about this. That is your money that you use for whatever you want. Though it is, like, please make sure my daughter is fed, and comfortable with this money, but then there's more than enough that she'll be taken care of and you'll have way more to do whatever you want with it.
And I think really, like, in the saying too, like, remember, money is not really a thing.
Right.
So it's more like access.
Yeah.
Like social clout and like ability to get things that you need,
Yep.
as opposed to like dosh.
He can get you the good liquor,
Yes, that's the important thing, really. Because humanity's oldest friend is alcohol. We've been drinking alcohol for thousands of years.
Yep.
You've never abandoned a friend.
So that's how my character is associated with your character. Your character looks over my character, keeps her safe, takes her into war zones so she can take selfies with cored out mechs and stream to her, millions of Twitch subscribers. And that's what you do. And my character respects you well enough, but she's a brat and you're not a real dad. That's our relationship.
So I think, given Sylvia's background, she probably met Bryn literally looking for consistent work. She's taken a lot of, like, little piecemeal jobs, like basically stand here in a mech and look threatening, and she's looking for something that's a little longer term, a little more likely to kind of bring in money for painkillers and physical therapy and actually doing upkeep on her mech, which is kind of the one thing she owns. So
I think what it is, because again, no money, so it's like you can get like access to the good doctors, and not like the shitty back alley ones to like get your stuff going.
Oh, like, absolutely. Like, it's not so much I'm saying money, an access to resources thing. She wants to be going to provide her with both consistent work and someone who would have access to resources. So Bryn is looking for people who can kind of like fly these missions. Sylvia basically walked in one day to job posting and said, I'm fucking ride or die, let me in.
Perfect.
I brought my own toys. I brought my swords.
Alright, well, I guess, Isadora, how do you know? Brandon, how are you associated with the Hex Girls?
I don't.
Oh no! That's right, we're gonna have to
Like
do
I
it
said.
the first episode, so yeah.
Yep.
I think that after failing to get into the defense cadres, that Wolf is big. Wolf acquires a mech on her own, and basically tries to sign up with any mercenary company that she can find, and none of them will take her seriously until she just kind of corners Bryn. Like she just wants a chance. To fly with a real mercenary company, and she will do literally anything. She'll owe him a favor for life.
What I'm getting a feeling here is Bryn has basically been peg on misfit toys.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't have anywhere to go. Like, he lost his livelihood. And it's his way of life, so he's kind of starting from scratch.
Sounds rough, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened was he was on a lightspeed ship and it just like left without him. So now it's gone. And all the people, when they get to the next place, he'll be old and they won't be. So like he's like, well, time for a new life.
I mean, if it works.
I think that's
also,
sorry, go ahead.
Technically, money is a thing. It's just not a thing we have to worry about, like as a game mechanic.
Yeah,
We have resources.
We're not technically in post scarcity, like because we're not in sort of the Union core.
Yeah, we're way out of post scarcity zone. But
Okay.
I thought so. I was like, wait a minute, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna roll with it.
I mean, we can still print Macs. Like,
Yeah, that's
if
the
you
thing.
blow up your Mac, you can get another one. It's fine.
yeah, everybody has connections to the companies. They're here. They've got printers. And it would take a long time for a union to send a message to shut those things off. So, make that what you will.
I feel like we probably have. I feel like the fabricators probably have sort of a credit thing with any mercenary outfits, where like we will print you new mechs and repair you mechs, and you just kind of like we just take a cut of missions until you're done.
Yeah, it's licensing. You don't own those blueprints. You're licensing them.
So basically, just like real life, but with more explosions.
Look, just nobody tell Sylvia that she doesn't technically own the Invicta, or she will get.
No, you own the Mac. You don't own the
The
blueprints.
blueprints.
Yeah.
Fair.
You
That's
don't
how they
own
get
like
you.
You have to pay for the blueprints,
yeah.
so to speak. That was one of the concepts I wanted to add to the lore of this universe. Is that y'all are kind of like gig economy mech pilots. You just do these jobs to get money so you can buy the things so you can print them out and slap them on your mech and also eat food, buy food and shit. But
The way I see it
Yeah.
is you have this big old mech printer, and at any time the company gets like, I don't want you to have that license for that gun anymore. You can't print that anymore. So you just can't print it. Like this is how it is. It's how it be.
So yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
hoping. That's the kind of energy I hope we can bring into this campaign. Is we're all angry Uber drivers, but we're in that war.
Fucking unionize the merc.
The PMCs of space. So the last thing I
No, we're a
had,
mercenary
that
group.
I think we've
PMC
covered
would
most
be
of
like a
everything.
respectable occupation.
Yeah, is I want to know. Let's say there's been one other mission for the first gameplay when we do. I want to know what it was and what went terribly wrong. How did every person fail
Fail what?
at that mission? Like what did everyone fuck up? I want to know, because I think the first one always goes terribly badly, like the previous episode one. So I want to know, like, what were we doing and how did it go terribly wrong?
Every faction. All right, hire the dumbest motherfuckers. Just the absolute stupidest idiots.
I mean, Hex Girls are 4 stooges.
I guess the main thing that the first mission was doing, if I may suggest, is establishing a home base for our mercenary group. Right? So we were just basically either seizing a ship or like a satellite or something for ourselves, and we managed to get the ship slash satellite slash whatever that will act as our home base. But it did not, it was a mess, and it cost way more than it should have in some way. Would that be okay?
We caused structural damage to it. We had to pay to get it repaired.
Yeah.
Or it's not repaired yet.
Yeah, it's not repaired yet.
And that's the problem we have. So it's not ship breaking.
Yeah.
Alright, so what happened that made that happen? Who did the thing that made it get too damaged?
So originally, I'm going to say this is like an interstellar space station, right? That got seized by pirates. All the people originally in this interstellar space station were killed by the pirates. We were hired to basically buy the people who owned the station to get rid of the pirates because they were pirating, and then we could just keep the station afterwards. So we went in to do that because we need a home base so we're not murder hobos. And the pirates just decided to blow up the station in pettiness so that we couldn't get it. And also, Default did a bunch of collateral damage anyway because she can't control her bloodthirsty rage.
Default just like cannon some motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right next to a wall we kind of need to not be breached.
Yep.
I'm sure that's not structurally fine.
And now there's a whole wing we can't access.
We'll replace it with load-bearing drywall. This fucking space station is a fucking Grover house.
Space station designation Grover House.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that's my emotional support drywall. Load-bearing emotional support drywall.
So that's how Default fucks it up. She does a lot of collateral damage. How does Lyra fuck it up?
What went wrong? So we had to find this thing first. So what went wrong there while we're doing
Well, in
our
order to find
reconnaissance?
this one, we had to go through Alice's faction space to get to a pocket of actual neutral space.
I think that on the way, we bumped into a salvage group that was just doing it on their own business, and Lyra recognized some of them as people she had brawled with before, and wasted a lot of time issuing a formal battle challenge, which took at least 10 minutes.
I've come to make an announcement. These pirates are bitch-ass motherfuckers. They pissed on my wife. That's
And like before they even managed to get there, she'd already like gotten her mech utterly destroyed by like fighting 3-on-1. Because in her own words, that made it fair.
So when we got there, were you in the second seat in my mech because your mech was destroyed?
Yes.
I think Sylvia was literally hauling her Everest behind us. Just
You can just put a new one. It's slag,
She's
doesn't matter.
pissed as hell.
So Sylvia's very sentimentally attached to her mech. She would like much rather like print a new one, and she will cry if her mech is ever total. But yeah, she actually I think that is what went wrong. Is the group took fire early, and Sylvia's beloved paint job, which she is very, very proud of and did some of herself, was ruined. And it triggered a rage she did not know she had available. The result was there were, she did take out a pirate, but the problem was she was supposed to be dealing with the people who were like up near the sensitive parts of the satellite, so that Default would go nowhere near them. And she went off in the other direction to like fucking avenge her, which left Default free to take point on what she should have been doing.
yeah.
And that's why we have load-bearing drywall on the satellite.
She can do it.
So she just fucking goes in there and
Here you go, kid.
fine.
Great.
She comes back, she's like, oh my god, what happened? Brent's just going like, where were you? I thought you were the sensible one.
So then my failure was, as leader, was trusting any of you to follow the orders I gave you.
Basically.
I like to
What
imagine
the fuck
Bryn
did you
like
think was gonna
rushes
happen?
into the station, like everything is like gutted and like oxygen is leaking out, and he just screams, "What are you doing?" And we all turn and say, "Our best!" And then we get back into it.
It gets this like a hard pan out, like something falls off the side of the station. Like it was a success, technically.
We did the thing. We have the growth.
All right, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. All right, so I think that's good with the Session 0. I think we've covered everything we need.
Yep. So in this station, we have, a printer for the mechs. We've got a kitchen with food. We've got our own bunks. Each of us has our own bunk, our own small, like, place where we can make our own rooms. That we
I have an office, so I have the biggest bunk.
Yeah,
so
you have
I
the
have,
biggest. You have the
yes.
biggest one. Yeah.
But keep on the liquor.
Yeah, we got an exercise. We have an exercise room, just like in the actual ISS. Probably like a small garden where we can like grow some food, just for fun. A rec room where we can just kind of hang out.
So this is like a drop, but it's like a drop ship, right?
It's a space
Like,
station.
so, like-
It's like the ISS.
Okay, so it's a station. Okay.
Yeah.
But what are we gonna call it?
We're not really going to call it Grover House. I have no idea what we're actually going to call it. Let's
Well,
talk
so
about
let's
it.
say
Can
I
we call it
wasn't
Grover House?
suggested, but thank you for cutting off that joke for the third time.
We can decide on that. We can think about it for next time.
Yep. I guess that's it. It's 10:30. It's 10:17. Sorry, my clock is set forward. Any final thoughts? Everybody excited to play?
Lancer's rad.
Wow,
Excited.
cool robot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There are 400 fucking pages of this PDF, and I have not made it all the way through it, and it's kind of exhausting to read, and I'm so tired.
Honestly, no. Well,
I want
the
to
thing
sword
is
someone.
once you get to the mech part, you can just like kind of go like, I don't like this one. Oh, I like this one.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna read
pretty
all
much
like the
flipped through.
items and shit.
I pretty
Like
much
the mechanics part is like less than half the book.
Yeah, it's mostly lore. By the way, it's very cool lore and it's worth reading.
Oh yeah.
The art in this book is phenomenal, and I
Well,
love
yeah,
all of
it's
it.
the guy who draws Kill 6 Billion Demons, which is a
It's so
phenomenal
good.
comic. Holy
Yep.
shit, go read it if you haven't read it.
Good comic, very interesting
Jenner.
art. Therefore, very interesting mechs as well.
Here, I told you this before, and I'll tell you it again. Once I'm done binging Beastars, I will start reading Kill 6 Billion Demons. I'm almost done finishing Beastars. So yeah, I'll
The
start
show
reading
or the
it.
comic?
That's the show.
Good.
I had Forrest Jenner and Loca to start listening to Dice Funk with me, so you
It
know.
was fun. Loca was getting so upset because there was lawyer stuff, and anyway. I guess we're gonna stop for the night. Thank you for playing. Session 1 will be, I guess, a neutral session, and/or Alice's mission. We'll work it out, and
Yep.
we'll go from there. All right,
Yeah.
it's tax day, so All right, bye
Yeah,
everybody.
right there.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I can't wait to fight Tactical Combat on a Hex Grid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
last.
so excited.
The
I am-
promised time.
So excited for the hexes. All right,
I know it's okay. Yeah, you end the stream
we're
first.
gonna end. Goodbye.
So long.
Bye.
The music used in this episode is as follows. From the Katamari Damacy soundtrack, there was Overture and Gin and Tonic and Red Roses, both by Asuka Sakai, Katamari Mambo and Walking on a Star by Yuri Misumi, and Angel Gifts by Yu Miyake. The songs used from the Iconoclast soundtrack by Joachim Sandberg includes Robin, Brackish, Family, Chili, Preacher, Dance of Desires, Controlled Cacophony, Machines, and Impressionables. If you want to catch whatever we're doing live, you can find us on twitch.tv/Batalisk. We stream every Wednesday at about 8:30 or 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to find a thread for this game or anything else we've run before, you can go to lp.zone. For every campaign we've done, we have a section in the LP section. And for our one-shots, you can find us under the stream section at We Stream Games.